So Pierre Poilievre looks like he's made his return to Ottawa. They had a nice long caucus meeting today talking about what things they did right, what things they did wrong. And Pierre Poilievre actually spoke to the reporters for the first time since the election. So let's have a look at what he's got to say, and then we'll talk about it after, like usual.
Est-ce que Jenny Byrne doit
rester? Learn and grow. What have you learned from this election, and how will you grow?
Well, what we learned, I think we all learned, is that the map has changed dramatically. Like if you had told me that, for one, that we would get 41% of the vote a couple of years ago, I would have said, wow, that's ambitious. But if you told me that we would get 41% of the vote and still not win, I would have said, you're crazy. But in fact, our electoral map has changed. It's at this point, right now, it could change again, but right now it's looking more and more like a two-party map, where getting 41%, by the way, the best result that we've had since 1988, is not enough. Was not enough to form government. So we have to ask ourselves, how do we, first of all, keep the enormous number of the 8 million people who voted for us, that was just almost 2.5 million more than the previous time, but then add another roughly 1 million votes that will allow us to get over the finish line. And that's something we're going to be talking with. We have to spend a lot of the summer listening carefully to people in the communities, coffee shops and town halls and other events. We can find out who are the people that are most likely to join this growing movement and get us over the finish line. So
why are you running in a rural riding?
Do you want Miss Byrne to stay on your team?
Listen, she did a lot of hard work, and our team has a lot to be proud of. We've got, as I said, we've expanded our support, we've broadened our team, we've got 25 new members of parliament, but we have to go further. So we're going to be enlarging our team, and that's one of the things we'll be talking about today in our caucus. Thank you very much.
So, I mean, of course, Pierre Poilievre isn't going to come out here and say, yeah, we're going to fire Jenny Byrne. He's not going to do that publicly. But it sounds to me like not only are they going to grow their team, but they're going to make changes. He's not going to go out there and trash her publicly. It doesn't make any sense for him to do that. But I do believe that she's going to be gone. I don't know who she will be placed with, but it's got to be someone who has a better grasp, especially in terms of gaining more of the youth vote. Whether that's going on podcasts or not using slogans or being less of a moderate. I mean, they got to figure it out. Like Pierre said, they got to go out and communicate with people, talk to people in their communities. All the MPs have to do the same thing, especially MPs that are in, purple ridings where it's not purple as in PPC, but I mean purple as in they go back between red and blue. You got to make sure we win more of those and then keep the ones that we did win. And like Pierre said, there was a lot of progress made. It is weird that they got 41% of the vote and lost, but because the NDP kamikazed itself, that's what happens. They lost so much support and they went over to the Liberals. When the left unites, it's very, very tough for them to lose, especially when they pulled a little trick and saying, hey, we're going to get Justin Trudeau out, pro-rogue parliament, and then have Mark Carney put in place. And then now everyone thinks that Mark Carney's different. He's better to deal with Trump. Oops, by the way. Elbows up. But either way, I think that Pierre's going to learn from this. I absolutely think he should remain on as leader. It doesn't make any sense to have anyone else right now. A lot of people say, well, he lost, and O'Toole lost, and they removed him, and Harper lost, they removed him, and Scheer lost, they removed him. But Pierre made a lot of progress. 41% of the vote for the Conservatives is very good. Is the NDP really going to just keep losing support? I mean, they can't really lose much more than they did. All they can really do from here is go up. And as Mark Carney continues to look weak and continues to put his elbows down and doesn't push back on Trump at all, and the more he lies and the worse things get, there's going to be a lot of people who just are going to be unenthused by the Liberals. And what are they going to do? Switch out another leader? They don't have anyone else. In fact, if you go back to what Pierre was saying back in the House of Commons a couple of years ago, just after he won the Conservative leadership, he kind of called that Mark Carney was going to be the next guy. Who's it going to be after Carney if they lose? Chrystia Freeland, Karina Gould, how'd that go? They don't have anyone. There's no one else that's strong in that party that people like enough to be prime minister. Champagne, LeBlanc, No way. The Liberals, I mean, they're still always going to use their media tricks, yada, yada, yada. But they were doing that with Justin Trudeau, too, and it didn't work. The only thing that seemed to work was switching out Justin Trudeau. Yeah, I don't think the tariffs helped. The NDP kamikazing itself didn't help. But that being said, if Justin Trudeau was there or if another weak Liberal leader was there, the NDP probably would have done a little bit better. It's hard to say what's going to happen with them. I think they're going to name an interim leader soon enough if they haven't already. But they got to come up with a plan and say, hey, listen, if we want to be taken seriously, we got to get some support back, which means we can't just side with the Liberals all the time. Otherwise, what's the point of being a new separate party? And a lot of voters felt the same way and switched over to the Liberals. So they got to figure things out. I don't think the NDP is going to do bad or as bad next time as they did this time. And if they do better, then all Pierre Poilievre has to do is kind of maintain his support, and he would win a minority, maybe even a majority, depending on how strong the NDP becomes, if they do at all. But it's going to be very interesting to see what happens in the next year, 2 years, because when things get worse, you're going to see buyer's remorse with Carney pretty quickly. And then who do you got left? The Conservatives is who you got left. But we'll have to see. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be a wild ride. Hopefully, there's not too much damage done in the next couple of years. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section. Do you think that Pierre should fire Jenny Byrne? And if so, what other moves do you think they should make? And what issues do you think that Pierre was either too moderate on or that Pierre missed on? Let me know what you think in the comment section. I really do enjoy engaging with you guys. Please also don't forget to like and subscribe, as it really helps grow the channel. Thanks so much for watching. I'll be back shortly with a new video.